this video, I want to share with you the plans that I've had put together and the process that I have been using for building a self-reliant homestead. And to not take any of the credit, this is stuff that I've worked with expert farmers and designers to create for you. And so that if you are looking to build your own self-reliant homestead, hopefully part of the processes that I'm currently going through, you will find very helpful. Now, I am building this self-reliant homestead in chunks. And so in other videos, this chunk right here, which is roughly a maybe 1.2 or 3 acre orchard, has been talked about. So I won't be talking about that. And this is currently the only piece of this that exists, besides a couple of chicken runs and garden beds up in this area also exist. So the areas in black are the things that currently exist. And I realize I've been dragging my feet, and now I want to show you the process for how I built out 2 other sections, or have planned them, that I think you'll find instructive and hopefully a little bit inspirational. And the first piece I want to show you about is how I am taking this section of land, which when I bought the property was a roughly 2-acre Christmas tree farm, and how I'm converting that into a nut orchard. And then I will finish off the video showing how I'm taking this very currently dead scrap of lawn at this moment and turning it into something that can really be a huge factor for raising my own chicken feeds and my own biodiesel oils for making diesel, and a bunch of other things that I'll get to in that second section of the video. But first, let me show you how I am converting my Christmas tree farm into a nut orchard. So here we are on a more refined picture of this nut orchard, and there's a bunch of things here that I want to bring up. And one is that we are going to be planting chestnuts, or these green ones, black locusts, mulberries, or these purple, hazelnuts, other types of chestnuts, assorted fruit trees, and hazelnuts, as well as lots of nitrogen-fixing shrubs that help keep the trees fed nutritionally. That's what's planted in this area. And the other thing that I want you to notice as I had this built is the first thing that he wanted to focus on was building the access ways. And so I want to show you something here. These roads that are in this beige color are going to be roads that allow us to, drive a four-wheeler, drive a pickup truck through, or a tractor, so we can do some harvesting. I'll zoom in on another cross-section level of this so you can see later how this works. But what this is designed to be is these are designed to be growing nuts while also giving me pasture land to raise certain varieties of pigs that are capable of foraging for all of their own food once this system is up and running. Not the traditional pigs, but there are some heritage breeds that can allow that to happen. And I'll show you again what we plant in each of these different areas here in a second. But it's planted in a cool way, so that through fences we can block those pigs off from being at these trees, or let them graze under these trees depending on the season. If we want to keep them out, or there's a lot of nut fall on the ground and we'd like to feed the pigs, that's something we can do here. The other thing that I want you to notice is this is a big pond. This is a 40,000 gallon pond that we currently have. And if you watch on contour, we built these roads so that for every 300 feet, they drop a foot, I believe of what it is. I could be slightly off on that. But what that means is this pond's drainage water will go into this road. And this road it's designed to make the water travel. And so this water from this pond, as it flows off my property, comes all the way through the whole property and on a very gradual slope, and then soaks into the land downhill. So all these arrows that I'm drawing, I should probably pick a different color so you could see, that's downhill. And so a pond that's several hundred feet away, its overflow is responsible for irrigating these areas. And we have this second pond in this area that is designed to do the same thing as it comes in and moves water all around this area of the property, soaking in everywhere as else. For the getting water in a non-electric way up into this this upper section, what we've had built is rain catchment. This is plans, these aren't built yet. Rain catchment on a barn that goes into a small tank, which then goes into the overflow pond. And the pond can then release that water onto this road, and they're all, like I said, gradually sloped enough, just gradually, so that it will move all around the property and soak into the landscape, moving nutrient around and automatically watering the property. Now if you zoom in on the landscape, this is what it looks like if you're actually on a cross section. So the first thing I want you to notice are these roads here. And they are planted, not planted, they're made at an angle, and the little blue that's sitting there is designed to kind of represent how the water sits. So it doesn't just run off the hill, it instead soaks up and soaks into the landscape and then downhill, watering these trees that are placed downhill from each of these roads. The other thing to notice are these fences that we have in each of these areas. So these fences mark the ability, or give us the ability, to either put animals into the rows where we keep the trees, so that once these fruit trees drop their fruit, or the hazelnuts drop their nuts, and we want to harvest them, we can go in there and harvest them, or we can put the animals in there to clean up the harvest, depending on what we want to do. And we can keep them out, or we can keep them in if they're doing too much damage or not, and not giving them full access to the trees. All of the shelters are made of these mobile shelters, which I am very proud of. We give away the blueprints elsewhere on our site for where these shelters are. I'm not going to pitch that right now or anything, but really cool shelters, whether you want to have them for goats or chickens or ducks or geese or whatever, that I am a big fan of. Also for tilling garden beds, which is a topic for a different video. But this is how the structure is laid out for how I am planning to build a self-reliant nut orchard, where the watering is done with pond systems, where we are managing actually, there's a certain variety of pig that is capable in this 2-acre, through the estimates that my designers have come up with, to actually be able to get all of its own forage once the system is up and producing from the landscape. And this is the process to go through. And then if I zoom out back to the main rough drawing of the map real quick, just to give you a zoomed out structure before I zoom back in again, I want to go share with you what I'm doing in this upper right hand section of the property. But also note that I have a chicken run right here that's designed to feed the chickens 100% of their needs. These are areas where I have garden beds. I'm going to make another video at a different time that shows how we grow those without any irrigation, a very cool system. And then this is hopefully a future system that I'll get to share with you, where right now it's not currently in the budget to be able to do this year, but this is, they call this silvo pasture. I think I'm pronouncing that right, and that's a way to manage goats in a woodland environment, where I happen to have some woods in this area that are capable of providing 100% of my goats' feed directly from the land when I'm ready to build this system. I'm not ready there yet. I got a lot I'm working on, but I did want to kind of zoom out and show you that that is what I'm doing. And also on this property, what you don't see are some acreage where it's just straight wood. And so I'm not going to go into there. Someone planted that before me. It's wood. It's growing, and it's providing all of that on this property as well. But let's dive in and show you this hazelnut section, and I'll wrap up this video. So to give you some ideas on the numbers, I am really impressed with what this little piece can do for me right here. This section, according to the estimates that I've had drawn up, will be able to provide 300 to 510 pounds of shelled hazelnuts per season. These can be used for chicken or hog feed, or food for my family. The estimated market value currently for those nuts is $3,900 to $6,500. And just to give you an idea, This little section in my upper orchard, which has a little section of raspberries, was capable of growing $4,000 of retail value of raspberries last year without any irrigation, which was quite cool as well. So when you add all these areas up, hopefully you can turn it into money, although admittedly, I have no experience doing that yet. These are just the estimates that have been coming in that I am sharing with you. From those nuts, if we use presses, that should be able to provide between 20 and 40 gallons of hazelnut oil, which can be a great source for making your own biodiesel or different types of oils for cooking or whatever processes that you want to do. Another cool benefit that people don't realize is that it will make between 150 to 350 pounds of shells that can be used for wood gasification or burned in rocket stoves or pellet stoves. So the waste product, the shell of the hazelnut, can actually be a great source for wood gasification. One of the problems with wood gasification is chunking up the wood enough so that it can be used as in these machines and these generators, for lack of a better word, that are awesome at turning wood gas into gas that you can use to generate electricity and power. Well, it turns out the hazelnut shell is kind of perfectly already chunked down to the right size, and so that's a way to have another fuel source that a lot of people don't realize. In addition to that way of generating power, it's also going to produce a quarter to a half a cord of fuel wood from prunings of these hazelnut trees that they will need. So these are going to be perfect in rocket stoves. So if you're not familiar with rocket stoves, these are super efficient stoves. They're designed for cooking. We sell them at our website. You can also find them elsewhere. There's different models that are better than others, but having your own fuel source for them is awesome, and it's coming as a byproduct while I'm making all of trying to grow all these stuff. We're currently on this piece of crap grass hill that has no fertility. The other side benefit is this is going to attract a ton of squirrels and rabbits, and in a survival situation, this is meat and a surplus of meat that you could either eat yourself through trapping or through feeding to animals and those sorts of things. It will provide whips for basketry. It will also provide, because everything we do here on this homestead is not monoculture, it's about what plants can we plant next to each other that helps the other plants so that all of them grow well together. We are planting autumn olive berries, which we, on this estimate, will get between 60 to 120 pounds of autumn olive berries. And we are planting Siberian pea shrubs. And so Siberian pea shrubs are a nitrogen fixer and has been known to be a survival food in past cultures. And it will, on this section, grow 50 to 150 pounds of Siberian pea shrub fodder, food for animals or for ourselves. And so you add that all up in this little rinky-dink section of land that will be planted very much like when we zoomed into the other areas, using multiple species and very well thought out with how the irrigation is worked through pond drainage and all those sorts of things. That's what we're going to be getting out of that chunk of land. So hopefully after you see some of that stuff, you see kind of how I'm trying to take everything that I've been given here at my property and make the most of it. And the question hopefully you're asking yourself are, what are your plans? What can you take? What assets do you have that really just deserve more of your attention for becoming more self-reliant and planning for tough times ahead? And if you are looking for a resource, for a place to get started with some of this, I did want to let you know that we have just added a new bonus. It is an hour-long training that we are adding to our course that we sell over at survivalgardeningsecrets.com, which is a course on how to build your own self-reliant food supplies. We've just added an hour program on getting started with your own food forest. Now, to be completely fair, it is not how to build a map like what I have just shown you, but it is some quick start guides for if you kind of like some of the stuff I'm talking about and you'd like to learn just a little bit more about some frameworks that you can start to play with, and you are new to this concept and would like to get some things started and start, planning, then maybe you would want to check that out. It's something that I think is pretty cool because building systems that make food with trees and bushes that are perennial instead of annuals and always having to save your seed and till the ground, to me makes a lot of sense and is much more self-reliant. So I just want to let you know that. Hopefully this has inspired you, and if you would like some more information on building self-reliant food systems for yourself, check out survivalgardeningsecrets.com. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you in another video in the near future, guys. Take care.